Hello children, welcome back. Today we will discuss the second and the final part of the chapter, Getting to Know Plants. In the previous video, we have discussed about the different parts of plant like the stems and the roots. Today we will discuss more about flowers and its parts and also about leaves. So let's get started. We'll start with leaf. Now, we know that the leaf, which is green in color, is the food factory of the plant. Why the food factory of the plant? Because it is the site of photosynthesis where the production of food takes place. In this way, leaf is also known as the kitchen of the cell. It is a thin, flat and broad outgrowth of the stem. It is attached to the stem at points which is known as nodes. The older leaves, they are generally placed lower at the stem. As the stem grows upward, the new leaves starts to appear. The upper leaves in this way are younger and smaller in size. Leaves of most of the plants, they are green in color. Why so? Because of the presence of chlorophyll in them. Here we can see the structure of leaf. A leaf, it is usually green in color and the following structures are there. The pattern of leaf is known as leaf plate or leaf lamina, and inside it you can see the vein which is running in the middle, that is known as the midrib, and the sideways, these are known as veins. And the stalk, the part of the leaf that is attached to the stem is known as petiole. We'll discuss about these parts one by one. Like petiole. What is petiole? As we have already seen, it is the small stalk by which the leaf is attached to the stem. And there are some plants like wheat, rice, maize, they don't have a petiole. Next one is lamina. Lamina is also known as leaf blade. It is the broad and the expanded part of the leaf. It is green in color because of the presence of chlorophyll. And because of the presence of chlorophyll, food is being prepared here, and the process in which the food is prepared, that is known as photosynthesis. The edges of the lamina, they can be either smooth or serrated. Next one is midrib and veins. The stalk of the leaf, which is a part of the stem, so it continues into the leaf or the lamina and it forms the midrib or the middle vein. The midrib, again, it branches into side veins. This transport, now what is the function of these veins? Like the veins in our body, they carry the blood. In the similar way, the veins in leaves, they have the function to perform, that is transportation. They transport the water and minerals to the leaf and carry the food from leaves to other parts of the plant. The arrangement of veins in a leaf is known as. Now, on the basis of it, there are two types of venation. What are these? These are the reticulate venation and the parallel venation. In the case of reticulate venation, the veins, they form network across the leaves on both sides of the midrib. And like in the case of example of people, China rose, mustard or mango. Observe the leaves of these plants, you will observe a reticulate venation there. And in the case of parallel venation, when the veins, they run parallel to each other, means they are not arranged in a reticulate pattern but in a parallel way, then we call it parallel venation. And generally it happens that the plants which bear the fibrous roots, they have parallel venation, and the plants those have tap roots, they have reticulate venation. The examples of the plants bearing parallel venation are banana, maize, bamboo, sugarcane. And parallel venation. Here in parallel venation, you can see that the veins are arranged in a parallel fashion. But here in reticulate venation, the midrib and veins, there is a particular pattern over there. Now, how can we find out the venation in different leaves? Suppose we take the example of, we take a peepal leaf and a banana leaf. Okay, now what we have to do in order to find out like what kind of venation is present in them, what we will do, we will dip both of them in water in two troughs. Troughs, you can use the buckets or tub-like structures, and then keep it aside for like 3 to 4 days. Take care to change the water every day without disturbing the leaves. Then after some days, that is 3 to 4 days, take out the leaves and gently wash with water. Then what you will observe, you will find that all the fleshy part of the leaf is washed away and there will be only one thing left, that is the veins. And then you can find out that which type of venation is present in both of them. Next activity is to test the presence of starch in leaf. Now what is starch? This is food. And why we are testing the starch in leaf? Because the food or the starch is prepared in leaf only by the process of photosynthesis. So for this, the materials we require are a leaf, alcohol, a beaker, a test tube, water, a burner, a petri dish, and some iodine solution. The procedure is as follows. First of all, we need to wash the leaf with water. Then after that, put the leaf in a test tube and fill the test tube with alcohol. After that, this test tube which contains the leaf which is dipped in alcohol, we have to place this test tube in a beaker which is half filled with water. And then after that, heat the beaker. Okay. Now, there is a warning also that alcohol, it should never be heated directly in flame. Why so? Because it is highly flammable. Flammable means which catches fire very easily. So, it is not heated directly. Because of this reason only, we have dipped it first in water and then we have heated it. Then, continue heating till all the green color goes from the leaf into the alcohol. Okay, after some time, what you will observe that alcohol is colorless. But when you will dip the leaf in alcohol and you will heat it, after some time you will see that the color of the leaf has gone into the alcohol solution. Okay, now you will take out the leaf and again wash it with water. Then keep it in petri dish and pour some iodine solution over it. Now we have already tested the presence of starch. For the presence of starch in anything, what we have taken? We take the iodine solution. And if we put the iodine solution and if it turns from brown to blue-black in color, it shows the presence of starch. This test we have already done when we were testing the presence of starch and carbohydrates. So you must be aware about it already. Now, there are functions of leaves. We'll discuss mainly two functions of leaf here. They are the photosynthesis and next one is transpiration. Now, the main and the foremost function of leaves is to prepare food. That is known as photosynthesis. Leaves, because of this reason only, leaves have a green colored substance which is called chlorophyll. The process of manufacture of food by leaf in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll using water and carbon dioxide of air is called photosynthesis. Now, whenever we cook food, we have a separate place in our homes to cook food, that is the kitchen. So here, in the case of plant, the kitchen is leaf. And then suppose we need to prepare kheer or any pudding, then we require some ingredients to prepare the same. Like what are the ingredients? We need the rice, we need sugar, we need milk, and we need the gas stove or the burner for that. So here also certain things are required, like the ingredients which are required are water, which will be obtained from the roots. Then we require carbon dioxide, which will again be received by leaves because leaves have some minute pore-like structures which are known as stomata. And then there is another thing required, that is chlorophyll, which is itself present in leaf, and the most important part, that is sunlight. Okay, now when all these things combine, then food is formed. And because of this reason only, the plants are also known as producers. As a result of this process, oxygen is given out and the food is also prepared. It is prepared in the form of starch. Although the food is prepared in leaves, but it is stored in different parts of the plants like roots, stems, fruits. Now you have to give me the examples, or you have to think about the examples of your own. Like in which cases the food is stored in roots, like in the case of turnip, radish, in stems, sugarcane. Fruits, you eat many fruits like mango is there, lychee, banana. So all these different parts, the food is stored, which is being prepared in leaves, but later on stored in these different parts of the. Next function of leaves is to carry out the process of Transpiration. Now, what is transpiration? Like whenever we go out in sunlight, then our body starts to sweat. Means that it leads to the water loss from the body. Similar is the case with plants. They release the water or the waste product of water, and the process is termed transpiration. Now, what is the function of transpiration? It cools the leaf, and also it creates pull in the leaf, due to which the water and the mineral, they are moved up to the stem from roots. So in this way, transpiration, it helps in the transports of nutrients in the plant, and also it helps to cool down the leaf. It also helps in maintaining the water cycle in nature. Next one is flower. Now, what about flower? Flower is the most attractive part of the plant. Whenever we look at a plant, the first and the foremost thing we see or we observe is the flower, because of its petals. Different colored flowers are there. Okay, so now a flower has different parts. Like, we'll start from the base of the flower, that is the green colored structure. You can see the stem. Okay, and just above the stem, the leaf-like structures are there. These are sepals. And what is the function of sepal, which we'll discuss it later also, but let's have a quick look over it. The sepals, they protect the flower when it is in bud state. When the flower is in its young stage, what the sepals do, they cover that petals. Then after sepals, you can see the colored like structures. These are known as petals. Now inside petals, again, two structures are there. So before we discuss that, one important thing about flower is that flower is the reproductive organ of the plant. Like the leaf, it is responsible for photosynthesis. So flower is responsible for the reproduction. And for the reproduction, the flower consists of two parts. That is the stamen and the carpel. The stamen is the male reproductive part of the flower, and the carpel or the pistil is the female reproductive part of the flower. The stamen, it consists of two parts. These are the anther and filament, you can see over here, and a pistil consists of stigma, style, ovary, and inside the ovary, ovules are there. Let's discuss these in detail. Now, what is a flower? We have discussed that flower is the most attractive part of the plant. Now, these are the organs of reproduction of a plant. Main parts of a flower, these are sepals, petals, stamen, and what are sepals? These are the small green leaf-like structures which are present at the base of the flower. They protect the petals in the bud state or the young stage, and also provide the support to petals when bud opens to form a flower. Petals, these are the flat, broad, and colored structures which are present in a flower, and they can be one or more layers. They may be separate or joined to one another. You can try and observe the different type of flowers which are present in your surroundings. Now, what is the function of petal? Like the function of sepal is to protect the petals or to protect the flower when it is in young stage. Similarly, petals also have a function to perform, and the function is to attract the insects. Because of the petals only, the different insects get attracted to flower for obtaining the nectar or the juice of the flower. Here, next one is stamen. As we have discussed, that stamen is the male reproductive part of the flower. It is made up of two structures, anther and filament. Like, these are placed inside the petals only, and they can be seen completely only after removing the petals. Okay. Now, what are these? They are the male reproductive organ of the flower and consist of two parts. A long, thin, tube-like structure, which is called filament, and a sac-like, a bag-like structure which is present at the top of the filament, which is known as anther. Now, what is the function of anther? The anther produces a yellow powdery substance which is known as. Next one is pistil. Pistil, it is the innermost part of the flower and also the female reproductive organ of a flower. It consists of three parts. The topmost portion is known as stigma. Now, why stigma? Because it consists of the sticky substance on which the insect sits, and then after stigma there is style, and the style ends in ovary. The ovary, it contains the small bead-like structures called the ovules. Here you can see the diagrammatic representation of the pistil. The topmost part is the style, stigma. Then stigma is followed by style. After that, you can see this structure is known as ovary, which consists of ovules. Now these ovules, they give rise to seeds in the later stage of the plant. Children, that's all for the day. Thank you so much. Have a very good day ahead.